What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, back for another edition of 3-Minute Thursdays, and here we are to discuss more manga this week. And we're going to start off with the new one-shot, Spirit Photographer. It was a nice little thing. I believe it's by the same person who does The Promised Neverland, but I never read The Promised Neverland. I don't deal in scary stuff. It just ain't for me. It ain't for me. So, but the thing itself, it was perfectly fine. It was a nice little story. It was a nice little one-shot. I'm not sure if it's a one-shot that's going to lead into a new series. I'm not sure if that's how it's gonna work, but if it did, I'd be perfectly fine with that. It's a nice little story about how some spirits move on and how they need stuff like that, and how the spirit photographer helps them with that. Do I have much else to comment on? Other than that, the art was nice. No, not really. I don't have much to comment on. I think the main little kid, he was fine. I believe the spirit photographer was fine, and the best character, I believe her name was Sato, because she was the one who saved that little kid's life and gave him the will to live, which is always great. Moving on to My Hero Academia. So we have 2 chapters to discuss this week, and not much. Hi, Horikoshi. Please, just let the women do something on their own. But that's really the only complaint, because it's more Kirishima. Like, Kirishima's the one who slam dunked the vial into Gigantomachia's mouth, and that's great. I'm glad for my boy, but like, can we please just let the girls do something of note and not fall and fail in every single situation they're put in? Like, Night Eye failed, Mount Lady failed. I mean, Yaoyorozu is the whole reason it happened, so I can give big props to Yaoyorozu. Finally, one of her plans worked, so I can work in a real, concrete, important situation. Actually, no, this is the second time. Because she placed the tracker on the no move, so that's good. Yaoyorozu has 2 good things. There we go. Other women, please, need something from you. Please just do something. But other than that, there really isn't much to talk about. Nothing happened over these past 2 chapters. It was just the same event that's being stretched out. But the only thing I don't like is that we missed the entire rest of the Shigaraki versus Midoriya, Endeavor, Bakugo, the whole squad fight. We missed the rest of that, and not really sure why. I guess we're gonna just see Shigaraki get up, because we always know it's a fake out in My Hero Academia. I don't ever believe anything that happens at the end of a chapter, because usually it's going to get written over in the very next chapter. Shigaraki's going to get back up. That's really the only thing I have to say about My Hero Academia. Next up, we have Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, and we are really just going straight into the fact that Chaco is superhuman, and I like that. And I'm also wondering what else this is coming from, and I also am believing more and more that Samejima was imagined up or something like that, with Chaco's power of revelations or something like that, because he does seem a bit inhumanely strong and does some weird inhumane stuff despite being human, and it's notable, but it's also a bit scary. Like, there's this one guy in I believe it was chapter 5, who like does all this crazy flip stuff and all that nonsense. Samejima just kicks him in the face. It's great. And of course, I think my favorite scene across both of these chapters was when Orpheus he said, then we do this, and he bites the glove, he pulls it off, and he just becomes a dolphin. And I'm just like, okay. And then, I don't know, for some reason the shark tossed me. It threw me. I was dying when I heard that. I was just like, yes, shark, toss him. But then Chaco just being extremely superhuman, being able to carry not only Orpheus, who's a dolphin, who's like 600 pounds, as Samejima mentioned, but also Samejima, and then throw them both in the boat. I'm really wondering what this series is about, and in a good way, because it's laid some interesting foundation, but it has me asking a lot of questions. Chapter 6 was mainly just a filler chapter. It was showing more of Officer Nanase, I do believe her name was, and it's alright. It's weird. It's the one part of the series that I always like squint at a little bit, like, you don't really need to include this, but you included it anyway. So it didn't really further any plot development or anything like that, so there's not much to talk about. But I still say chapter 5, really good. Bone Collection, let's chat about that one. I feel like the series is about to get canceled. Like, you ever get one of those vibes where like things are ramping up way too quickly? Like, we went from Pyra and, man, I always forget the guy's name. Matsuri? I forget his name. No, I think that's the guy from Ayakashi Triangle. The main character and Pyra, they seem to be leaping in power way too quickly for this series to go on that much longer. Like, an SS rank yokai, the Kyuubi, is instantly just fodderized by them after they just figured out how to sync and increase their synchronicity by a little bit, and now they're getting married. I feel like the series is about to get canceled or end really quickly. I don't know. I get those vibes. Unless it's just all a fake out, which it could be. This is more so a comedy manga anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was a fake out. But I've seen it happen before in other series in Shonen Jump, and I fear that it's gonna get canceled. And I feel bad. I don't want any series to get canceled. Because I always believe that a series can improve later on, even if it takes a while. Which is why I still need to read One Piece, though. I need to actually block off a whole section of time to actually do that, because I want to read that all in one go. But yeah, other than that, once again, nothing much happened. They just got to Runa and the QB, and the QB just got beat easily. Like, the 2 of the 4 Exorcist Kings couldn't do it, but Pyra and whoever the main character's name is did it immediately, and now they're getting married. Weird things. That's for Bone Collection. Now, moving on to Mori King. Weird as always, still enjoying it. I don't know why. This is one of the few comedy mangas that actually sits down and makes me chuckle, or it makes me laugh openly, which is very, very rare. Like, the only other manga that's really able to do that on a consistent basis is Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin. But for this one, Mori King, it's really, really good. To get to chapter, I forget what chapter it was. I think it's like chapter 13 or something like that. This is why you should double up on chapters, because I know it. Chapter 14, wow, I literally just looked at it. It's the butterfly trying to get his owner to have a happy life with the younger brother of Shoko. And why I forgot both of their names at this moment, I have no idea. But I love how the butterfly is like the more sensible of the two. Like, Mori King's this really nice guy, and he has all these nice, soft, sentimental values and great philosophies, but he's also still a bug, like the purest form. And it's really, really interesting to watch, because honestly, even the giant Asian hornet that's brought up in the next chapter, Mayo, she isn't really very much bug-like, except for the fact that when she goes to fight Mori King, her stinger gets broken, because that's probably what would happen if a giant Asian hornet attacked a rhinoceros beetle. But yeah, it's weird to notice that Mori King, it seems to be like the most animalistic out of all the animals. Like, he's the one most run by instincts and seems to have no real understanding of human conventions, despite every other person in his world, every other bug person in his world having human conventions. I'm not sure if that's a thing that's notable or it's just used for comedy. It's most likely just used for comedy. I still like it though. Still solid series. Moving on to Time Paradox Ghost Rider. So I was right. I believe I was right. I'm pretty sure I was right, because it seems like Mirai, or whatever the robot was, it was made by Itsuki Aino's dad, dad or mom or something like that, and it's made to watch over her. However, the thing was, it failed its job multiple times over and over and over again. And that original timeline we saw, where I believe Itsuki died on her own, like with no external input from riding White Knight, and we see her sprawled out on the ground. Either that was the original timeline, or that was the timeline where the timeline that just currently was. Like, we gotta, honestly feels like a chapter out of order, where there's this awkward space in the previous chapter, not the one that released most recently, where everything seems fine. Like, Itsuki seems perfectly healthy, and it seems like our main character Sasaki is just worrying over her for nothing, only for like 2 pages to pass and she's dead, and she dies of exhaustion, like what it appeared she did in the chapter beforehand. So, interesting things to note. Her own dream kills her, which, you know, over devotion to something can be unhealthy. So I can see that it's an interesting message, but it's one that you rarely see portrayed, which is really, really good. And I'm wondering what Plan C is, whatever Sasaki came up with, that is apparently going to save Itsuki. And I don't know. I also feel like this is going to be a short series, not necessarily canceled, but I feel like it's weird. I want to know where this series could go, like how many alternate timelines we're gonna have to lead through. Because Mirai said it's out of battery already, so it can't really go on much longer in alternate timeline sense. I don't know. It's interesting. I still like Time Paradox Ghost Rider a lot. Still think the art's fantastic. Still think the characters are great. And seriously wondering where it's gonna go in a fantastic fashion. There we go. For Undead Unluck, we're stalling a lot. And I say that in the nicest way possible, because I still think it's nice. I think there's good character stuff that's happening for all the characters involved. You know, the unmove guy, he's developing better. Like, he's learning to understand his abilities more and being able to say literally unmove on, unmove off to regulate that better. Andy's still fantastic. Fuko's still fantastic. Tatiana is still, it's a bit weird. It's a sad backstory, but like, it's very, very strange to look at. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't like reading those manga chapters. Any of those panels that included her, I was just like, please, just stay in the ball. And I'm interested to see where the fight's going, but I kind of just want the fight to end. Like, we've kind of been sitting here for a little bit, waiting for just the fight to progress. Like, I feel like if Undead Unluck ever gets an anime, like, this fight will be encapsulated in one episode, because I feel like it doesn't need to take this long. Like, the movesets aren't necessarily complicated enough for me to believe that it requires all this extra effort. But who knows, maybe there's some unknown trick to the girl's movement ability that unheal or incurable is hiding or something like that. But I feel like we should hurry up. And I know it's not going to even end in the next chapter. I have this feeling that it's not going to end there, and that's kind of annoying. But still, regardless, I still really like Undead Unluck. I still think it all around is a really solid concept, and I can't wait to see where it goes. For Ayakashi Triangle, the series must have heard me, because I think I mentioned it in a previous thing on Thursday. Like, this series really is going nowhere with anything. But now it established something new, that Akashi mediums are half Ayakashi and half human. And that's why they have so much pressure, and they can do these weird things and have different powers. And I feel like this is established, so whenever some new threat comes across that Matsuri can't beat on his own, then Suzu can help out in one way or another. And I think that's interesting. Is it weird to watch and read? Yes. I don't read this manga in a public space. Ever. Like, I dare I say, none of the chapters are safe to read in a public space. Do not let anyone look over your shoulder while you read this manga. Don't do it. Other than that, I'd say it's still perfectly fine. It looks like we're finally going somewhere, and that's what I've been waiting for. I'm hoping some villain gets introduced. Some actual villain, not the fake out that was the rival who told Matsuri that Suzu could be half Ayakashi, but actually a legitimate enemy or something that we can actually work with, not like just the Ayakashi King who's just wandering around as a fat house cat now. Please, I want something. But other than that, I still say Ayakashi Triangle. It's pretty fun. It's pretty solid. Then Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone, we're firing up again. Ooh, I'll be real, I didn't think Senku was actually shot. I thought that was like the bag bursting open or something like that. I did not believe he was shot, but he was, and that is crazy. That blows my mind, because it literally took Senku out of the picture, and like one of the most visceral ways possible, because they do not have any way to instantly heal him. He's gonna have to heal organically, and healing organically is pretty bad when you know that the opposing enemy science team is coming for your neck, and like they are. So I'm really intrigued to see what is going to happen now in Dr. Stone, because now Chrome is the head sciencer. He's really the one that's gonna have to take the lead on this, and like he created a drill, which is good. But I'm also wondering, like, yo, what is this? Like, do they have a nuke? Like, what is so impressive that this guy is like, yo, 2 weeks, bro, and they won't even know what hit him? Like, honestly, no offense to the Kingdom of Science, but I'm pretty sure Stanley with a good gun could like easily mow through them all. I don't know what they're really waiting for. And even with, you know, Gen's like threat, like, oh, you better not attack that ship too quickly, or else the petrification device is going to wipe you off the face of the planet, and you'll be back to stone all over again. Like, I feel like Stanley would have been like, bro, that's Cap. Hold on, let me just shoot all of you real quick with a machine gun, or just fly up in a plane outside the range of the petrification weapon. Like, what? Y'all gonna turn to stone too? This doesn't seem like a problem for me. Y'all just need to die. So I'm a little bit of forced like time limits being born out of contrivances, but I don't really mind that. I still think all the character interactions are fantastic. I'm intrigued to see what this new weapon is, and I'm intrigued to see how they're gonna build a drill in 2 weeks with no Senku and no real resources. Like, I'm not even sure where the resources are going to come from. Not sure what they're going to disassemble or anything like that to truly make a drill. They may use the plane and its like propeller to reverse engineer it into a drill, but I'm waiting to see. It's really exciting. I like how I always give praise for Dr. Stone for being able to take something previously established and make something new with it. So I'm intrigued to see, can't wait. Finally, Ghost Reaper Girl. 2 chapters again. I didn't realize I'd wait this long in between talking about it. So the main character got a cat and is currently getting signed up to be a proper exorcist person. There are a lot of exorcisms and like this entire spirit photographer. Wow. I mean, I guess we just spirit photographer and Ayakashi Triangle, but still 3 times. But it's weird to know the Ghost Reaper Girl, she's just becoming properly registered, but she's considered highly dangerous due to having so much spiritual energy. And they go to all attack her, then Kai freaks out, and now we have a new old friend of Kai coming to show up at the end of the 3rd chapter. Interesting stuff. Once again, I'm kind of searching for the point. Like I'm looking up, down, all around, and still can't figure out where I asked, because I'm trying to figure out what we're doing in the series other than getting Ghost Reaper Girl famous, like and like trapping all the escaped evil spirits, but I'm not exactly sure what the plan or the methodology to that is. I don't know. I still like it. I still think the art, like, honestly, if I'm looking at all the art for this entire week, like, I'd say Ghost Reaper Girl is number 1, because the detail in it is so impeccable, especially in the clothing. All that is really, really good. But once again, just searching for the point. And honestly, that was this week's 3-Minute Thursday. If I had to give each series a number really quickly, I'd say Spirit Photographer, nice 9 out of 10, really, really solid. I'm not even sure what I would improve on it. Maybe a 10 out of 10. My Hero Academia, like 6 out of 10. Stop dragging your feet. Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, I'd say a good. The 2nd chapter, the latest chapter, brings it down to like a 7. But previously, if we just had that chapter be a 9 out of 10. Bone Collection, it's cool, but it's also weird. 7 out of 10. Mori King, I'd say actually a pretty solid 8 to 9 out of 10, because both chapters were really, really good. It's just that it's Mori King, so there's not much like plot or anything like that to focus on. Time Paradox Ghost Rider, 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. It has me super intrigued. Everything about Time Paradox right now is really, really good. Undead Unluck, 6. I feel like 6 or 5. I feel like we're really dragging feet right now. I don't think this is all necessary. Ayakashi Triangle, like, I'm 7 because it's finally going somewhere, or at least it seems to be, but it was just weird. Dr. Stone, easy 10 out of 10, just because we're in such an interesting spot right now. And the one negative I have for it is like a logic problem that I may not understand in the context of like modern warfare. I don't know. And Ghost Reaper Girl, 7 out of 10. I'm waiting for the plot to pick up and go somewhere. But really, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. You don't know how much it helps your boy out. Really encourages me every single time I see a like, see a comment, see a subscribe. Always helps your boy. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.